300 years. That is not a typo in the title. That is not clickbait. That is the documented lifespan of some of the food trees I am about to show you today. Trees that people planted before your grandparents were born that are still standing right now, still producing fruit, still feeding families, still growing stronger every single decade that passes. Now think about what you spent on groceries this week. Think about last month. Think about what your children are going to spend feeding their own families 20 years from now. Prices are not going down. Supply chains are not getting more stable. And the land you're sitting on right now, whether it is a quarter acre or 5 acres or a small city lot, that land has the potential to feed your family long after you're gone. But most people will never do it. Not because they cannot, because nobody ever told them which trees to plant. Today I'm going to fix that. I'm going to walk you through 10 trees, one by one, that you plant once in your lifetime. Trees that feed you this year, feed your children in 20 years, and feed their children 100 years from now. Some of these trees are already growing in people's backyards right now, and the owners have no idea what they have. Some of them have been feeding entire villages in other parts of the world for centuries. And a few of them are so productive that one single mature tree can replace thousands of dollars of grocery spending every single year. Stay with me through all 10, because the last tree on this list is one that almost nobody in the modern world grows anymore. And the reason it disappeared is one of the strangest and most important stories in agricultural history. Before we get into the list, I want to know something. Do you have any fruit or nut trees growing on your property right now? Drop a yes or a no in the comments. And if you do have trees, tell me what they are. I want to see what you're already working with, because this community learns from each other just as much as from this channel. Here is the thing about annual gardening that nobody wants to say out loud. It is exhausting. Every single year, you start from zero. You buy seeds or seedlings, you prepare the soil, you plant, you water, you fight pests, you harvest, and then winter comes and you do it all again. Year after year, for the rest of your life. Trees are the opposite system entirely. A food tree is an investment that compounds. The first year it gives you a little. The second year a little more. By year 5 or 10, it is producing more food than you can eat. By year 20, it is a living pantry that runs itself. And unlike your annual vegetable bed, it is not asking you to show up every day. It is not dying if you miss a week of watering. It is not starting over if one season goes badly. The families who understood this planted trees for their grandchildren. And those grandchildren are eating from those trees today. That is the mindset we are building together right now. Let's get into the trees. Tree 1, the oak. Tree number 1 is one that most people walk right past every single day without ever thinking of it as a food source. The oak tree. A single mature white oak can drop between 20,000 and 40,000 acorns in 1 year. One tree, one season, 20,000 acorns. For thousands of years, acorns are one of the primary calorie staples for indigenous people across North America, Europe, and Asia. They are high in fat, high in complex carbohydrates, and once you understand the simple process of leaching out the tannins with water, they become a nutritious, versatile flour that can be used for bread, porridge, and baking. White oaks begin producing meaningful acorn crops at around 20 years old. But here's the part that earns them the top spot on this list. A white oak can live for 500 years. Some documented specimens are over 1,000 years old and still producing. You plant this tree and you are not feeding your family for a generation. You are feeding your bloodline. And beyond food, an oak tree is an entire ecosystem. It supports more species of insects, birds, and wildlife than almost any other tree in North America. Plant one, and you are building a food forest anchor that will outlast everything else in your garden by centuries. Tree 2, the chestnut. Tree number 2 is one that changed the entire food history of a continent, and then almost vanished from it entirely. The American chestnut. Before 1900, the American chestnut was the dominant food tree of the eastern United States. Entire mountain communities in Appalachia relied on it. Pigs, deer, and wild turkey fattened on the fallen nuts every autumn. Families harvested them by the bushel. The tree was so productive and so reliable that people called it the bread tree of the mountains. Then a fungal blight arrived from imported trees in 1904 and wiped out an estimated 4 billion American chestnut trees in less than 50 years. One of the greatest ecological and agricultural losses in American history. But here's the good news. The Chinese chestnut, which is fully blight-resistant, produces nuts that are nearly identical in flavor and nutrition. A mature Chinese chestnut tree can produce between 50 and 100 pounds of nuts per year. Those nuts are 30 to 45% carbohydrate, roastable, grindable into flour, and storable through winter. They have fed people through famines and hard winters for over 3,000 years. Plant a chestnut now, and in 10 to 15 years, you have a nut harvest that can carry your family through an entire winter without a single trip to the grocery store. Tree 3, the mulberry. Tree number 3 produces more fruit per tree than almost anything else you can grow, and it does it in conditions that would stress most other trees into shutting down entirely. The mulberry. A mature mulberry tree can produce the equivalent of 30 to 50 pounds of berries per week during peak season. Per week. The berries are sweet, high in iron, vitamin C, and antioxidants, and they ripen over a long window rather than all at once, which means you're not scrambling to process everything in 3 days the way you would with a conventional fruit tree. But the production is only half the story. Mulberry leaves contain up to 34% protein. If you're keeping chickens, ducks, rabbits, or goats, you have a built-in free feed system. Cut branches in midsummer when your pasture grass is brown and finished. Feed the leafy branches directly to your animals and watch them thrive on it. The mulberry establishes fast. It tolerates drought once rooted. It grows in almost any soil. It starts producing fruit within 2 to 3 years of planting. And some mulberry trees in Europe have documented lifespans of 500 years or more. Plant one this season, and your great-great-grandchildren will still be picking berries from it. 3 trees in, and I want to check in with you. Which one of these is new information for you? The oak, the chestnut, or the mulberry? Tell me in the comments. And if you're already growing any of these, let the community know what your experience has been. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to get started. Tree 4, the olive. Tree number 4 has been feeding civilizations for longer than written history can confirm. The olive tree. There are olive trees in Greece, Israel, and Spain that are over 2,000 years old and still producing fruit, still producing oil, still standing. That alone should tell you everything you need to know about this tree. A mature olive tree can produce between 40 and 80 pounds of fruit per year, and those olives yield some of the most valuable food fat on earth. Olive oil has been a primary calorie source, a medicine, a preservative, and a trade currency for thousands of years across the Mediterranean world. And the tree that produces it asks almost nothing from you. It needs almost no water once established. It thrives in poor, rocky, alkaline soil that most other trees would refuse. It is self-sufficient in a way that almost no other food tree can match. If you're in zones 8 through 11, an olive tree is not optional. It is foundational. Plant one today, and you're planting something that will still be productive when your grandchildren have grandchildren of their own. Tree 5, the pecan. Tree number 5 is one that millions of Americans grow in their yards purely for shade, with absolutely no idea of the food value they're sitting on top of. The pecan. A mature pecan tree can produce between 100 and 200 pounds of nuts per year. Pecans are high in healthy fat, high in protein, and calorie-dense in a way that makes them one of the most valuable survival foods a tree can produce. They store well. They are easy to harvest, and they are one of the most calorie-efficient crops per square foot that you can grow in the American South and lower Midwest. The pecan is native to North America, which means it evolved here, adapted here, and knows how to survive here. It handles the heat of the Gulf Coast and the dry plains of Texas. It lives for over 300 years, and once it hits full maturity at around 12 to 15 years old, it produces that enormous nut crop every single year with almost no help from you at all. If you're in zone 6 through 9, a pecan tree is one of the highest return long-term food investments you can make in your land. Tree 6, the fig. Tree number 6 has a survival mechanism that is unlike anything else in the plant world. The fig. When water runs out, the fig does not struggle and slowly die the way most trees do. It drops its leaves on purpose, deliberately. It pulls every ounce of its energy inward to protect the core of the tree, and it waits. Then when moisture returns, it pushes out new leaves within days and begins producing fruit almost immediately after. A fig tree can produce 2 full harvests per year. The first crop, called the breba crop, comes in early summer on the previous year's wood. The main crop follows in late summer and early fall. Combined, a mature fig tree in a good climate can produce between 50 and 200 pounds of fruit per year. Figs begin producing in as little as 2 years from a cutting. Not from a nursery tree, from a cutting you root yourself. That means one tree, properly propagated, can become 10 trees, then 100. And documented fig trees in the Mediterranean have lived and produced for over 500 years. Plant a fig and you're starting a lineage, not just a fruit tree. We are past the halfway point, and I want to hear from you right now. Which tree on this list are you most likely to plant? Drop the number in the comments. And if you're already planning a food forest or a perennial food garden, tell me about it. This is the kind of conversation that makes this community worth being part of. Tree 7, the walnut. Tree number 7 is one that serious homesteaders know about, but most backyard gardeners have never fully considered as a food tree. The black walnut. A mature black walnut tree can produce between 100 and 300 pounds of nuts per year. The nuts are protein-dense, fat-dense, and extraordinarily calorie-rich. They are one of the few tree foods that can genuinely substitute for meat in terms of caloric and nutritional value. For long-term food security, that matters enormously. But the black walnut gives you more than food. It's what is among the most valuable hardwood in North America. A single mature black walnut tree can be worth thousands of dollars in timber value. You're not just growing food, you are growing an asset that appreciates every year it stands. The black walnut lives for over 300 years. It is a native North American species that handles cold winters, hot summers, and periodic drought. It does not need coddling. It needs space and time, and in return it gives your family food, income potential, and a legacy that outlasts any investment you could make in the stock market. Tree 8, the persimmon. Tree number 8 is one that most people in the Western world have never even tasted, and that is a genuine loss. The American persimmon. The American persimmon is completely native to the eastern half of North America. It evolved here. It survives here without any human help whatsoever, which tells you everything about how tough it is. It tolerates drought. It tolerates flooding. It tolerates poor soil. It tolerates neglect. And in exchange, it gives you an extraordinarily sweet, almost honey-flavored fruit every autumn that is high in vitamin A, vitamin C, and natural sugar. A mature American persimmon can produce between 50 and 100 pounds of fruit per year. The fruit ripens after the first frost, which means it is available when most other food sources have finished for the season. That is not an accident. That timing matters in a real food system. You want crops that produce at different points in the year, not everything ripening in one overwhelming rush in August. The American persimmon lives for well over 100 years. The Asian persimmon, which is more commonly found in nurseries, lives even longer and produces larger fruit. Both belong in a serious long-term food garden. Tree 9, the honey locust. Tree number 9 is one that almost no modern gardener thinks of as a food tree, and that is a mistake that goes back only a few generations. The honey locust. The seed pods of the honey locust contain a sweet, edible pulp that has sustained both people and livestock on this continent for centuries. Historically, indigenous communities ground the pods into a nutritious meal. Animals, cattle, pigs, goats, deer, will eat the pods directly off the ground, and nutritional value rivals commercial grain feed in some analyses. A mature honey locust produces between 500 and 1,000 pounds of pods per year. That is an almost incomprehensible amount of free, high-calorie animal feed dropping from a tree that you planted once and never had to water or fertilize after its first 2 seasons. In a silvopasture system, where you integrate trees and livestock on the same land. The honey locust is one of the most productive investments you can make. Your animals stay fed through drought years, through bad growing seasons, through years when your pasture grass simply fails. The honey locust does not fail. It lives for over 120 years, and it produces every single autumn without asking anything from you in return. Tree 10, the Moringa. And now we arrive at tree number 10, the one I told you about at the beginning, the tree that almost disappeared from the modern food system. And the reason why is one of the most important things I will tell you today. The Moringa Tree, sometimes called the miracle tree, sometimes called the drumstick tree. And in parts of Africa, Asia, and Central America, it has been called the tree that feeds the world. Here's why that name exists. The leaves of the Moringa tree contain 7 times the vitamin C of an orange, 4 times the calcium of milk, 4 times the vitamin A of carrots, 2 times the protein of yogurt, and 3 times the potassium of a banana. Those are not approximate numbers. Those are documented nutritional analyses published by researchers and humanitarian food organizations around the world. And here is what makes it extraordinary for a food security garden. The Moringa grows to 20 feet tall in its first year. Not in its first decade. In its first year, it begins producing edible leaves almost immediately. The leaves, the seed pods, and even the flowers are all edible. You can harvest from it continuously throughout the growing season by simply cutting branches back and watching it regrow within weeks. It lives for 20 to 30 years, and in warm climates, it grows year-round. In the 1970s and 1980s, Moringa was actively being studied and promoted by international food organizations as a solution to malnutrition in developing regions. Then commercial agriculture shifted the conversation toward patented crops and commodity grains, and Moringa quietly faded from the mainstream discussion. That conversation is coming back, because the families who kept growing Moringa through those decades never stopped eating well. If you're in zones 9 through 12, Moringa is not optional. It is the most nutritionally productive tree you can put in the ground today. Let's bring all 10 together. Tree number 1, the oak. Up to 40,000 acorns per year. Lives for 500 years or longer. A complete food forest anchor. Tree number 2, the chestnut. Up to 100 pounds of storable, flower-quality nuts per year. The bread tree of the mountains. Tree number 3, the mulberry. 50 pounds of berries per week at peak. 34% protein in the leaves. One of the fastest establishing trees on this list. Tree number 4, the olive. 2,000-year lifespans documented. Thrives in poor, dry soil. Produces the most valuable food fat on Earth. Tree number 5, the pecan. Up to 200 pounds of calorie-dense nuts per year. Lives over 300 years. Native and adapted to North America. Tree number 6, the fig 2 crops per year. Drops its leaves to survive drought, then comes back. Can be propagated endlessly from cuttings. Tree number 7, the black walnut. Up to 300 pounds of protein-dense nuts per year, plus one of the most valuable timber trees on the continent. Tree number 8, the persimmon. Sweet fruit that ripens after frost, filling a gap in your seasonal food calendar when everything else is finished. Tree number 9, the honey locust. Up to 1,000 pounds of livestock feed pods per year from one tree. The most underrated silvopasture tree in North America. Tree number 10, the Moringa. The most nutritionally complete food tree on Earth. Grows 20 feet in its first year. Feeds your family and your body at a level that almost no other plant can match. Here's what I want you to do right now, before you close this video and before you forget. Pick one. Just one tree from this list that you can realistically plant where you are, in the climate you have, in the space you have available. And drop it in the comments below. Tell me which one you're starting with. Tell me why you chose it. Tell me what you were working with. Because 100 people watching this video and planting one tree each means 100 families eating better food for the next 300 years. That is not a small thing. That is how food cultures are built. If this gave you something valuable today, share this video with someone who is serious about growing their own food. Subscribe if you have not already, because we go deep on this kind of content every single week. And the video coming up next connects directly to what we built here today.